Benjamin Struss. I'm the country manager for the project development program, and that is a global program implemented by GIZ on behalf of the German Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate Action. And this program is, with this training, what we are doing here, we would like to educate different players in Ghana who are involved in developing solar projects. So we have banking representatives here, we have technicians from local solar companies, but we have also lawyers, and we're looking at the development process of a solar project from A to Z. So when it comes to the initial assessment, is this commercially viable? Where do you get the funding from? What kind of legal aspects you need to take into account? And with this, we would like to develop the capacities that we have a broader range of people who are knowledgeable about it, and that the solar projects can be spread out here in Ghana. And with this, we would like to contribute to or support Ghana to achieve its climate objectives. And at the same time, this project should also open links between German and Ghanaian companies that they can also team up and implement this project jointly. We would like to the people to get a thorough knowledge about the technical details. For example, for the banking people, that they are not only know about the finance, that they also know about the specific technical aspects that they need to take into account, and that they actually can better assess the credit risk, for example. For the technicians, we would like them to learn, for example, more about the financial aspects, what they need to take into account when they are developing a project. And at the end, we would like to have projects being realized. We would like to support Ghanaian companies to save money, that they reduce their climate bills by putting a solar installation on the rooftop. We would like also to give German companies who would like to invest in the Ghanaian market the possibility to find very good, qualified, trained local partners with whom they can jointly develop the project and implement them. I think Ghana is at the moment at an important step. So there is the framework now in place for a net metering, which is actually that the excess energy you produce with your solar installation, that you can park it into the grid at a time when you have too much, but at a time actually when the sun is not shining, that you can take the energy back from the grid. So this could be a really big game changer for the market, so that a lot of solar installations could be viable. For example, on the weekend when there's no production, you could actually feed the energy you're producing into the grid, and then take it back on a Monday or at noon when you have actually the peak production. And on the other hand, I mean, the electricity prices have just been recently adjusted pretty high, which on the other hand makes investments in solar again more attractive. So we expect the market to develop. But on the other hand, there are also some difficulties. So the inflation rate is very high. The bank interest rates are very high. We are hoping for we are expecting also a drop of bank interest rates in the midterm, that these projects can actually be also financially viable. So as part of the project, as mentioned, as part of the project, we are also identifying concrete Ghanaian companies. We would like, with the people we have trained here, these companies, we identify that we have also identified Ghanaian companies that can team up with a German company and then develop a very concrete project. But in principle, this training is we're doing it for the 8th time now. So this is a longer endeavor of actually qualifying people here from different sectors in solar. So this is also a long-term perspective what we have.
Low-hanging fruit, would you say, Agnes? Have you worked on a diesel project here? So Agnes has been here actually longer than I have, and you've seen all these projects going, right?
I think what we've noticed so far is a combination of grid and PV.
This one right here?
Yeah.
There's feed-in?
Yes.
Yeah, feed-in.
No, not the feed-in. plus people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And you know, another thing that I would point out, which, again, we're speaking about the theory, but just so you're thinking about all opportunities, uninterrupted power supply. So, the system was to say, well, we can give you uninterrupted power, right? So that's an advantage too. We'll get into that, but yeah, we'll go further into that later. A battery would be necessary, right? Because in order to have uninterrupted power, you have to have involved here. There would be the possibility of including a battery here, but you don't have to. Necessary it is to have like a really good team, right? So I think I mentioned earlier that sometimes we'll get technical people in the training and they think they can do the whole thing themselves. Oh yeah, we're going to develop this whole thing ourselves, but you need a team. You need people from different disciplines. You need legal experts. If you have a technical background, you need legal experts. You need commercial finance experts as well, and that's why it's important. We really focus on the network here because it's so important that people come away with a good network within the Ghanaian Solar Commission. There are many types, or different stakeholders of a project. You have to recognize the stakeholders that are needed, and then you have to basically put a team together. Also externally, so you might be an EPC company, you might build the plant, but you need to know your banks. You need to have a good relationship with your banks if you want to get financing. And if you have questions, you should call somebody up and ask those questions. Same with legal aspects. Putting together contracts, sometimes you got to call your lawyer and say, what should I do in this situation? And so the more of those hurdles we can knock down, or the more walls that we can knock down there, the easier it is for them to develop good projects. So diverse training, they try to get people from different experience. We even have some students in the room, and we always have the trainings with students in the room because they come with a different perspective, they're interested in learning, also interested in furthering their career. A lot of times the students have maybe, shall we say, green goals, they want to work more in microgrids or non-electrified sections of the community, so they really want to help people. So that's also something that we want to promote as well. Very viable, because the concept of the training is that we present like the simplest solution, which might not include a lot of the complications that you might see in projects. So by putting it on the rooftop, we help avoid complicated permitting issues. By saying, okay, we're servicing a commercial industrial building, you might avoid a complicated interconnection process or interconnection barriers. And so it's really, the simplest case is designed to basically be able to work anywhere. So I think it's very viable. And for example, Charles showed earlier some projects that they had been working on, and so it's been shown to work. So it's coming. Actually, the GIZ team, the PDP team would be better to answer that because I mostly do the training, but what I've understood is it's basically what we're trying to address with this project is that some component of, how would we say, it's basically access to financing. Right? So you might have interested parties, but are they able to get the money in the end? And that's what this training is here to do, is to talk about bankable projects and how to develop a bankable project so you can be more likely to access that money.
3 years, but the others also want 5 years. But the thing is that the shorter the length of the contracts, the more you stand to gain. So most of the companies you work with, they always want a shorter period so that they can just finish paying and then the system becomes theirs. But for us or so it depends on how quickly we can get information. So most of the people we work with, roughly by 2 months, who want to come and install solar on the roof. Instead of paying ECG bills, they want you to pay the bills. They'll give you free electricity. Whatever they want to produce is cheaper than what ECG is offering. The government says it's illegal. Why? That's why you have a legal aspect here. So there's marketing. If you want to sell solar to a company, there are a lot of challenges you are facing. So the first part is the discussion. Let's all sit down. Let's discuss our problem so that we don't always blame one party. That we are always blaming the legal people. Legal people are blaming engineers. Right now, I'm saying that solar companies will sell you anything. They are solar companies. And so we sit down and discuss. So that's a discussion. And then the second part is that so most of the time, especially with engineers, so they only know their field. But there's more to solar. Solar isn't about going to buy panels and then install them. there's a whole, we need to see if this project, should I go ahead with it? So basically what we do as PDP, that's what we want to give to the people, so that it's not just us who can, who will be able to do what we want to do. If you feel that, okay, after this you want to set up your own company and then do project development for solar companies, yes. So this program looks at the legal aspect, how to build, to see if whatever you want to do is legal. If you want to see, okay, can I go ahead with this project or not? Look at the finance and, okay, so looking at this company's books, should I go ahead? Yes, that's what basically this whole training is about. And as well, all experts in the solar field. So it's just some few people who are experts in the solar field. Okay. The majority are from banking, are from legal, different fields. So it's just some few people who are from the solar background. The majority are from different, but one way or the other, they all meet when it comes to solar. So we pick the bank. We have CalBank, Prudential Bank, and another bank. So if you want a loan at CalBank for a solar project, it will take you about 1 million years because they don't really have the expertise. So they are here. What does solar entail? So when we go back, we can probably implement it into our books. So the next time when the technical guy who is here goes to the bank that, okay, I need a loan to buy a solar panel. The bank people understand the solar, they understand his problems. So it becomes easy for them to work together. Same as the legal. Now we don't have any legal firm on energy. So if you run into any legal firm, like any illegal issues, you guys know energy, you are doomed. That's why you would have the lawyer would come on Thursday, most of the law guys. You learn so that if you run into a problem, you know that this is the situation. So it's just few technical guys. The majority are not.
Thank you for watching Nation One TV. Kindly subscribe for more news updates.